Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna give you guys a chance to come into the conversation. I hope you guys are doing well. Um, right now, at the time of this recording, it is not an early or it's not a daytime. It's actually nighttime. But I hope that doesn't turn too many people off. If you're a late night grinder like myself, then you can understand the value of thinking and talking at any time of day or night. And I really wanted to talk about this topic, so I just kind of woke up and decided I wanted to do it. Okay, so do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button before you go. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I want to say hi to my friends on Instagram at the real Boyce Watkins. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it's the real Boyce Watkins. And also, for those of you who are like myself, who are upset over Louis Farrakhan being banned from Facebook, being upset is one thing, but actually solving the problem is another. So we did solve the problem. We'd actually been working on the problem. We don't believe in reacting. We're proactive. And one of the proactive ways that we did solve this problem is we had created a social media platform for Black people called Black Enough. And here's how you spell it. It's right here on the shirt. Here's the URL. It's blagenough.com. And now the name's a little bit weird, but let me tell you where it came from. It came from the fact that we were basically saying, yeah, are you Black enough? You got to be Black enough to be part of the platform. So we were like, yeah, let's spell it an interesting way so that we can actually use hard consonants, which actually when babies first talk, they start talking with hard consonants like g and k. That's why sites like Google do really well, because they just naturally flow off the tongue. So we picked this word, Black enough, and we had it trademarked and copyrighted over a year ago because we knew that at some point Facebook was going to start banning lots and lots of Black people. And instead of just complaining and feeling marginalized and left out, we said we want to give Black people a home, a place where they can go and do social media without fear for persecution. This ideology actually is similar to what the Mormons did. The Mormons were being mistreated really badly, for being Mormons. And so they just went out west looking for the Great Salt Lake. And that's when they established Salt Lake City, which is now worth billions of dollars. But at that time, there was nothing there. There were no jobs in Salt Lake City. There was no government in Salt Lake City. There was no opportunities in Salt Lake City. They went out and they created jobs. They created opportunities. They created the life that they wanted. So that's what I believe in doing. So let's go and build. Let's not just sit around and feel bad. Let's go out and make ourselves strong. Melanated God asks, is there an app? There is an app. Black Enough is actually, the technology is not ours. It's actually part of something called Mighty Networks. And Mighty Networks, if you look for the Mighty Networks app, you can actually go to Black Enough from there. We actually are developing a custom-made app just for Black Enough. We wanted to just see what the interest would be in the Black community first. And once we hit a critical mass of, say, 100,000 people on the platform, then we'll go ahead and make the investment for the custom app. The reason we didn't make the investment initially is because sometimes we don't know if Black folks are going to show up or not. A lot of people do a lot of talking like, oh yeah, Dr. Boyce, y'all should have your own social media platform and y'all should go build it and blah, 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 blah. And then after, went out and spent 20, 30, 40, $50,000 and put it out there, then people don't want to be a part of it, or they don't follow through on what they want to do. So it's not that I get mad at anybody for that. It may be because of something we did wrong, or we didn't make it appealing enough, or maybe we misinterpreted the message. But what we like to do is put something out there first. And this is what they call an MVP in business, a minimum viable product. So we'll put the minimum viable product out there. We'll say, okay, does the community want it? If the community wants it, then we reinvest, we double up. If the community doesn't want it, we have to pivot and go in another direction. That's why in the Black Business School, our business models are different from everyone else's, because Black people have a different experience from everyone else. Black people are in a situation where we're not like the Silicon Valley unicorns, where we can go and drop, $30 million on a bad idea, or whatever it is, or $100 million on a bad idea. We have to figure out, just a few $1,000 if the idea is going to stick or not, and then we can decide how to reinvest. So ultimately, one of the benefits of the Black Business School is that we teach business models specifically designed to deal with the unique circumstances of the African American community. We don't think about anybody else, and that's what we do. So anyway, so let me do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Please do that. And also, let me tell you what I wanted to talk about real quick today. LeBron James made a really epic business deal with a company called Blaze Pizza. And Blaze Pizza basically, apparently they have this new model where you can make your own pizza or something. I mean, making pizza is nothing new. Everybody, people have been doing this for a million years. But LeBron pizza is a little bit different from regular pizza, right? And so anyway, it was reported in ABC News that LeBron made $1 million investment for a 10% ownership stake in Blaze Pizza. Now, this was an interesting situation. There was a mix where they knew that LeBron was going to be bringing financial power, but they more importantly knew LeBron was was bringing star power. LeBron was bringing capital to the deal that had nothing to do with how much money he had in his bank or in his bank account. A lot of entertainers are making deals like that. I think that what makes this deal unique and special is that there's a very clear and distinct and solid amount of equity that came with the deal that allowed LeBron's wealth to grow with the company. Also, it allows him to walk away with significant ownership, which I can contrast that to, say, the deal that Jay-Z made, where Jay-Z was pretending or being presented to the world as an owner of the Brooklyn Nets, which he was not. He owned 1/15 of 1%, which really isn't an owner. That's just the person that you just pretty much exist. He owns slightly more than I do of the Brooklyn Nets, and I don't own nothing in the Brooklyn Nets. 1/15 of 1% is only slightly above zero. I mean, it's really not significant. You're not making any significant decisions. You're not doing anything major with the company. And the problem with that is it's not dissing Jay-Z. It's not saying Jay-Z, he's old, he's a lame, he's weak. It's really kind of saying that you have to understand the difference between deals where there's a significant black equity ownership stake versus when the black people are kind of being used as mascots to use their star power and their influence. You see, black people were social media influencers before social media came along. So there are deals where black influence is used to get black people to get on board with a deal that is bad for the black community. It's almost like the way they would pay off African dictators to allow them to go into countries like Nigeria or third world countries and just extract their resources and not give anything back to the people. And so ultimately, at the end of the day, what you see with the situation with Jay-Z and everybody else, it was that some of these deals were just not beneficial to the black community. They were actually more like deals that were almost like deals with the devil. And in fact, I remember Cornel West telling me about the hard work he had to do when he was actually protesting the deal. He was kind of throwing salt in the game by protesting and saying, these deals don't seem to be giving, real economic value to the people of Brooklyn. You guys gotta give me a second. Stay there. I'm still here. You can still hear me. But basically, when he started doing all that protesting, there were people that did not like it. There were people that said, hey, wait a minute, this guy is messing up our ability to go out here and make money and to gentrify this community. So Jay-Z was, unfortunately, in that particular situation, it was the perception was he was used as a tool for white gentrification. Because what happened was that once Jay-Z became listed as an owner, then black folks stopped asking the hard questions, and because they were like, oh, we don't want to get in the way of this black man trying to own a basketball team, but the black man wasn't actually owning the basketball team. The real owners of the basketball team, from what I understand, were a bunch of billionaires, a lot of whom were from Russia. So you talk about Russia meddling. They don't just meddle. They're not just accused of meddling in the elections. They're also accused of meddling in black business and in black ownership too, right? And so ultimately, long story short, that's the kind of deal that I can't always support, because I think that those deals don't always benefit the community at large. But LeBron, it looks like he and his family are walking away with ownership. It looks like he and his family are walking away with long-term economic benefits. LeBron is making moves in the black community that are benefiting lots of people besides himself. And so I think LeBron's a good one, for this particular deal, as well as other things that he's doing. I think it's an excellent learning and teaching tool as well. That's why I'm talking to you guys about it. So basically, LeBron invested this $1 million in Blaze Pizza. Hit the thumbs up button, please. Please hit the thumbs up button. And when he made this investment in Blaze, it was for $1 million for 10% of the company. And recently, they stated in ABC News that LeBron's stake is worth about $35 million. In fact, actually, on my Facebook page, I actually posted this screenshot of how much money LeBron made, every year, starting from the time that he made the first initial investment in the company. And the numbers are pretty powerful, pretty alarming. And not alarming in the sense of like in a good way, right? Basically, the guys made a killing off this deal. If you look at the numbers here, which I have in front of me here, it looks like in 2012 when he made the deal. In 2012, the company only made 800,000. In 2013, once LeBron signed on, the company saw a big jump in revenue to 5.5 million. 2014, 32 million. 2015, 101 million. 2016, 185, and then 279, 341, and 400 million going up to 2019. So every year there's been growth in revenue. LeBron owns 10% of that. LeBron's presence has made a huge difference in the amount of money that's coming into that company. So that's an example of how wealth is built. That's an example of how you do a flip, a legal flip. And I love LeBron. Congratulations to him and his family for that. So here's the deal. Okay, so the question you might ask is, like what's the dynamic here, and what's really happening, and why am I up early in the morning talking to you guys about this? Well, it's because that's kind of how wealth sort of happens. Wealth sort of happens when you have the ability to identify particularly underutilized assets or underutilized opportunities that are out there, and you learn how to see your money as a seed. The reason LeBron is head and shoulders above every other NBA athlete or most other NBA athletes is that LeBron understands, at least his team does. Somebody in his team understands, what wealth really is. They understand what capital really is. They understand that capital isn't just money. LeBron's money is a huge weapon that he has. It's a huge tool that he has, but that's probably the least valuable tool in his arsenal. LeBron, literally, I'm going to tell you, my speculation is that LeBron's money in his bank account is probably the least valuable thing that he has, and he has a lot of money. LeBron's true value is LeBron himself, right? His brand. Michael Jordan was one of the first to really understand this on a large scale, and a few other people kind of get it. You see Jamal Mashburn, Shaquille O'Neal, other guys like that. Since they left the NBA, they've been making major financial moves. These are great opportunities for these guys, and what I really love is that they're going beyond very basic, simple economic thinking. Simple economic thinking is where you think, okay, I'm going to be good as long as I have an NBA team giving me a paycheck. Right. And a lot of us also have simple economic thinking. I work at the post office, and as long as the post office is paying me for my job, then I'm going to be good. Or I work at Amazon, and Amazon, if I want more money, I need Amazon to pay me more. And the thing is that we get, sort of caught into that. It really is, when they talk about corporate slavery, that's a real thing, because slavery doesn't mean you're not paid. Slavery does not mean that you don't get paid. Slavery means that you don't have the right to choose what you want to do. So if you want to know if you are on the spectrum of slavery, it's like autism. You got really autistic kids, and you got mildly autistic kids, and you have no autism, right? Well, if you want to know where you are on the spectrum of slavery, are you a little bit of a slave in your life? You ask yourself this basic question. When I get up in the morning and I decide what I want to do, can I do what I want to do? If I decide I want to watch football on a Tuesday morning, or whatever, or watch reruns of a different world, and stay in the bed in my drawers and eat ice cream that morning, can I do that on a typical Tuesday morning, or do I have to get up and go to a job that I'm not happy on, or a place that's going to stress me out? So anyway, the first step toward breaking away from slavery is to identify the slavery, and then is to identify the slave mentality that made you sign up for that slavery in the first place. What circumstances and situations locked you into that bad deal from the jump? Well, if you're like me, tell me yes or no. Yes or no. Tell me if you've gone through this. If you're like me, you were raised in a household where your family told you, that that's how you get ahead. Yes or no? Does anybody else grow up in that same household where you were told that the best way to get money is to go get a job and go serve somebody and go work for somebody and be nice to some white guy so that he will give you a good paycheck? Yes or no? Tell me if you've gone through that. Okay, I see a lot of yeses. I see a lot of people going through that, right? And so identifying it, and then sort of once you identify it, figuring out how to solve that problem is kind of the process that you go through to go from corporate slavery to the freedom that you deserve, right? So anyway, by the way, I want to answer a couple of your questions as I move forward on this. Let's see. Deborah says, "Why aren't you sleepy, Dr. Boyce?" Oh, because I took a big old nap. I don't operate on a, because again, once I became free and I could stay home and work from home and do what I wanted from home, it was like I sort of gained my own clock. Like once you are at home every day, you don't think about weekends. You don't. There's not much difference between a Saturday and a Tuesday, right? You're not like, a lot of people, a lot of us get to the point where we live for the weekends because that's the only time we believe that we have the right to be free. Well, we don't really, I don't really care much about weekends. I mean, I only notice weekends because Alicia goes to work on Monday through Friday, and that's when she's a little freer. But I'm free every day, right? So if I want to go meet her on campus and sit in the little campus restaurant and work all day and hang out and eat lunch with her, I can, right? And so the freedom is a wonderful thing. And what it does is, for me, I take a nap whenever I want to. Sometimes I take 2 naps a day. And when I'm not napping, I'm up. And when I'm up, I'm thinking about things. When I'm thinking about things, I want to talk to you guys, because I don't talk about this stuff because I'm trying to impress you or trying to just, do a job. I talk to you because this is stuff that's really interesting to me. And it's something that I believe can solve a specific problem in the Black community. Let's see. Charla says, Houston here. See you at the conference in September. I can't wait to see you either, sister. The All Black National Convention is a conference she's referring to. At the All Black National Convention, it is a convention where Black people gather and we do Black people stuff. So if you're a Black and independent and have an independent mindset and you believe in building the future for the Black community, then you should come to the All Black National Convention. The URL is allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. It's the weekend of September 27th in Houston. We're going to talk about everything from Black love to Black politics to Black economics to starting businesses, investing, networking with other intelligent Black people. It's really like a family reunion for people that are part of the Black economic revolution and people that are forward thinking in the Black community. Also, as I mentioned to you guys earlier, I told you guys know that I'm very disappointed that Facebook decided to ban Louis Farrakhan and to segregate him out of the community of of freedom of speech or free thinkers and free communicators. But here's the thing: I've always told you guys as well that I only believe in complaining so much. Complaining only goes so far. And so what we actually believe in doing more than complaining is solving the problem. So the way we solve this problem is we actually developed a social media platform that is for Black people, that will bring, that allows us to come together and do what we want, say what we want without fear of persecution. And here's the URL. It's Black Enough, and it's spelled right here on my shirt. So if you can't spell it, just look at my shirt and write it down and type it in and go search for it and join. You're welcome to join. You can join for free. The other thing is, I would like to ask you if you could tell others about it. Tell as many people as possible about Black Enough and let them know that this is our Facebook, this is our place we can go. It doesn't mean you have to leave Facebook. It just means that, this is another place you can go. And we're developing it. We're going to eventually develop a custom app and things like that for it. Right now, you can get to it on the computer, but it's part of a broader system called Mighty Networks. And we chose Mighty Networks because Mighty Networks actually owns technology that allows us to do what we want to do. We tried to custom build something, and we hired all these designers and developers, and it was bleeding us money. It was costing so much money, and it wasn't working. And I was like, I can't put this thing out here if it's not working. It's going to be terrible. So basically, we decided instead to go in the other direction and go with something that's already working and try that out. And then if we saw interest from the community, the key thing is, like, can we get 100,000 people on the same platform? If you guys get us to 100,000, then we will invest. We'll invest 100,000 and really develop, all the custom apps and everything, and allow you guys to kind of do what you want to do and make it a more sophisticated platform. But as of now, you can do basic things. You can post, make comments, rant, talk about what you want, post videos, do your thing, whatever, promote your business, all those things on Black Enough. So here's the URL. The word, we came up with this word because it was our word, and it's a spinoff of Black Enough. Are you Black enough? And 1804 Hance says, I just signed up. I love it. Good. Well, we love you too. So we decided to create a word, and because we wanted to own that word, so we trademarked it with the federal government. It is our word. It belongs to us. And we picked it because it's a spinoff on the term Black Enough. Because to really want to be a part of things like this, you have to be almost like a Black identity extremist. Not that I want to put you in that category, but you really have to love Black people. You really got to want to be Black. Hanging out with us is not a place for people that are not sure about their Blackness. You got to be sure. So anyway, let me keep going. So let's dig into more of this thing with LeBron. So we were talking about LeBron and how LeBron turned $1 million investment into $35 million, and he did this in very short order. He did it in about 7 years, which is really phenomenal. And the thing is that it's a rinse and repeat type situation, because when LeBron brings his influence to bear on a product, whether it's social, whether it's pizza or anything else. He's got millions of followers on social media. He's got this big gigantic brand that allows him to really make things happen and bring you customers and bring you all this value. So the thing is, that $1 million, a 10% stake probably wasn't worth $1 million at the time the company started. They probably just said, look, just give us $1 million, and then use your Twitter or your Instagram, and we'll give you 10% of the company, which was a smart move on their part. And as a result, the company's revenues just started spiking at that point. I think the revenues went up 8 times, or I think let me see. I think they made 9 times more money, or 10. Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Wait. They made about 7 times more money the year after LeBron came in than they did the year before. So literally, LeBron's presence spiked us. 700% growth in the company in 1 year, which is phenomenal. And so, let's see, according to ABC News, he did this with his business partner, Maverick Carter, and his financial advisor, Paul Wachter of Main Street Advisors. And I'm just looking at this, and they learned that his investment stake had grown to be worth $35 to $40 million because a private equity firm bought a stake in the company that valued the company at $250 million. And that's how they learn what a company is worth, is when an investor comes on board and the investor gives a certain amount of money for a certain percentage of ownership, they can then back out what the real value of the company likely is based on that particular deal. And what I love about entrepreneurship, and I tell people this, when people ask me, how do you make money? How do I make money? And I tell them, actually, the only pathway I've seen for Black people, especially Black men who maybe went to prison, or brothers who are just marginalized, who are quitting their jobs trying to get ahead, or Black women looking to find a way to make a way, is entrepreneurship is one of the few fast money models I've seen out here. Investing in the stock market, it takes some time. You got to have some patience. You could get lucky. Like the last 6 months of the stock market has been phenomenal. I mean, if you've been a stock market investor for the last 6 months, I'd be stunned if you haven't made any money. If you haven't made money, then that means you're not investing quite right. So you may want to consider joining our stock market program at theblackstockmarketprogram.com. That's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. So write that down, theblackstockmarketprogram.com. You might want to join because it's almost impossible to have lost money in the last 6 months, almost impossible. And literally it's like shooting fish in a barrel. It's very easy to make money right now. But the other, and now real estate is a little bit slower, and it requires a little bit more capital. Like you have to save money to make your down payment, even though people can do it. Like if you just save the money that you spend. I knew a lady who bought her first house by not getting her hair done for a year and doing her hair at home. And what she did was she would just take the money she would have spent getting her hair done, and she put it into an account to save up to make her first down payment on a house. And now she's a homeowner, and her wealth is building through her house, right? So you can, it's doable, but it does take a little more work. Whereas entrepreneurship is a beautiful thing because you can learn the skill. It's a little bit like becoming a singer or a rapper or even an athlete, where if you get the right amount of skill, your capital is inside your body. Your capital is inside your brain. Like, you don't really actually need a ton of cash to make things happen. Like a good entrepreneur is able to identify, what capital they can bring to the table that is non-financial. They might bring their network to the table. They might bring their social media influence to the table. They might bring their expertise to the table. They may bring the skill that they have to the table. Like I know how to bake cookies really good, and I know a bunch of people that need to buy cookies, so I can do little flips that can grow into bigger flips. So so I figured it out. I've got 100 people that will buy, $10 worth of cookies from me every week. That's $1,000 a week. So, and I know I can get that started by going to the store and buying $100 worth of products. I can flip that into $1,000 a week. Boom, I got $1,000 a week business because I'm now baking cookies and taking them to market. So ultimately, a person like that is benefiting not so much from having tons of capital. They're benefiting from having entrepreneurial thinking. Entrepreneurial thinking goes a long way. There's a young child who was in our Black Millionaires of Tomorrow program, and she came to me and told me that her daughter rolled up with $40 in her pocket, and her mom, like any mom, her mom's like, okay, where did my 8-year-old daughter get $40? And she said what her daughter did was she took Oreo cookies out of the bag, and she realized that the whole, or the sum of its parts is more valuable than the entire bag of cookies as a collective, right? So you could buy the whole bag of cookies for like $3. But she realized that, wait a minute, if I sell these cookies one by one for $1 a piece, people will buy them from me because I'm 8 years old and I'm cute and people want cookies and they don't care. The consumer does not care if they spent $1 for a cookie, right? So this little girl took these, 40 cookies and sold them for $1 a pop and made 40 bucks. And she said, now I need you to go to the grocery store so you can buy me some more cookies so I can, get my business going again. And her mom was like, no, we're going to take that out of your profits, right? But the daughter had learned to do a basic flip. And what she did was actually the same technique that is used by Wall Street bankers. Wall Street bankers do liquidations all the time, where they'll look at a company that owns airplanes, trucks, and buildings, and they'll say, the company, if it keeps operating this way and it remains as a lump, maybe it's worth $1 billion. But if we sell the airplanes over here for $500 million and sell the trucks over here for $500 million and sell the buildings over here for $500 million, we can get $1.5 billion out of this this so-called billion-dollar company, right? So basically what she did was similar to what Gordon Gekko was accused of doing on the movie Wall Street. On the movie Wall Street, that's what he was accused of, basically taking companies, chopping them into pieces and selling the parts and making money that way. That is a financial technique that her daughter knew. Now, her daughter didn't identify it that way. I mean, my God, she's 8 years old. She doesn't think that she thinks the way a Harvard Business School graduate thinks, right? That's sophisticated, right? But what it really shows is that making money is a basic idea. It's not something that requires you to go to business school. You ain't got to spend $250,000 going to USC or Stanford, to learn how to run a business. Some of the best business owners are just people that know how to get out here and make $1, know how to hustle up and do a flip. I've seen dope dealers who are far better at business than any business school graduate I've ever seen, because they understand the right way to look at business in terms of what sort of business Black people need to do. Black hoity-toity Negroes like us who went to college, we don't learn how to build businesses. We learn how to run businesses. There's a very big difference there. It's like the difference between knowing how to be a parent and having a baby versus knowing how to babysit, right? If you are a lifetime nanny, that's very different from being a lifetime mom, right? A mom, gave birth to that. A mom owns that child. A mom saw that child come out of her body. A mom conceived that child and owns that child lock, stock, and barrel and grows with that child. A nanny is in and out depending on whether or not the mother even wants them around. The nanny doesn't have any ownership of the child. The nanny can't, if the nanny's not happy with the way the child's being raised or the way the child's being educated, the nanny has no power. So when we go into these businesses and we just work for people instead of starting businesses, we are basically the equivalent of economic nannies. That's what we are. And when we've been babysitting white folks' assets since slavery. We've been breastfeeding their babies. We've been taking care of their kitchens, sweeping their front porches, planting their crops out in their fields, sharecropping their land, right? Taking care of their horses. And now we're running their businesses. So what we're doing now basically today is pretty much high-level sharecropping, where we take great pride in the fact that Massa gave us a big important job, and he gave me the most important job on the plantation, and he's paying me more than most of the other Negroes, and I'm the only Negro that he's even brought into the company, and we're running these jobs, and we think that they're our own. Now, there's no shame. It's not that there's a shame in having a job. I'm not job shaming. Right? They make up, liberals make up these stupid terms like fat shaming and job shaming and slut shaming and all this other. No, but I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be a slut, and I don't want to be an employee for the rest of my life. But there's no shame in those things. If you're a little overweight, I'm not shaming you. If you're a slut, then go ahead and do you. If you want to work a job for the rest of your life, that's okay too. I'm not dogging, especially if you have a job you like. My God, I'm happy for you. What I'm saying to you is add some balance to your game. Add some balance to your game. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying, that your game is wrong. I'm saying add some balance to your game, Black people. Balance to your game means that you might say, look, I like my job. Screw Boyce Watkins. Boyce Watkins is out here talking all this ownership stuff and all that, and he's getting on my nerves. But despite the fact that I love my job and I love my boss and I love my company I work for, I don't know how many of you, I'm sure maybe 0.1% of you say that you love your job and love your boss. 0.1% of you do. I'm not raising my hand because I don't know too many bosses I've ever actually enjoyed working with or companies I've enjoyed working for. But let's say that you're in that 1.1%. And you say, I want to keep my job. That's cool. Well, that means you have a natural funding source for your real play, your big play. Your big play is the LeBron James play. Your big play is what LeBron is doing. Your big play is, okay, I'm gonna do my little flips. And, just because I'm working for somebody doesn't mean I'm also not a part-time boss. So being a part-time boss means like, okay, I'm working for UPS. I'm bringing home, $1,000 a week, whatever my pay is. I'm going to make sure that a percentage of my money, whatever I can muster up, maybe 15, 20% of my income goes toward in making investments and stacking money so that I can make money moves and make boss moves. Now, ideally, the best situation is when you have an endowment. An endowment is like having chips to play at the casino. It's like having a stash that you can work with. It's something your parents are supposed to give you through a life insurance policy, through assets they pass on to you, through some other sort of benefit, maybe little funds they set up for you when you're a baby. Some of y'all didn't have parents that did that. I don't know, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Did your parents, or grandparents, did somebody leave you some kind of inheritance? Yes or no? The answer for me is no. I didn't have any inheritance, anything like that growing up. That just wasn't part of our family culture. We didn't believe that we had enough to do those sorts of things, right? But if you do that for your child, then what happens is they may decide they want to go work for somebody, but they've also got the capability of being a part-time boss and to do what LeBron's doing. So they might, bring in that paycheck, take a percentage of it, stack it away, and keep saving, bumping that money into the stock market, which is the first step toward the three pillars of wealth that we teach in the Black Business School: stock and bond investing, real estate, and entrepreneurship. That's the gospel. That's the gospel in the Black community when it comes to Black economic empowerment. The three pillars of wealth, also the Black core of three. The Black core of three means that we believe Black people should educate our own children. We believe Black people should create our own jobs. We believe Black people should support our own businesses. That's the Black core of three. That's what we live upon. That is our faith. That is our religion. That is what we do. And I call it a religion because we need to be biblical with our shit. Like when it comes to really the come up for Black people needs to be something that's done with a tremendous passion, something with tremendous commitment, something with a tremendous desire to change the culture. Changing the culture means that we're engaged in a mass personal indoctrination into the mindset of a wealth builder. We must indoctrinate ourselves and our children into the idea that Black economic power is Black power. That Black power does not happen without Black economic power. It's very difficult to have Black power without Black economic power. So anyway, with that said, rich people, there are rich families that send their children to go work for other people. So working for another person is not a shame in itself. It's not a crime. I'm not making fun of you if you are somebody's employee. That's not, what do I look like shaming you for that? No, what I'm saying to you is there's no shame in your game, but there must be diversity in your game. You must have the ability to score points in a multitude of ways. Anybody who ever plays a sport, I don't know if anybody in here play a sport growing up. Tell me yes or no. Have you ever played a sport? Basketball, football, track and field, baseball, tennis, hockey. Yes or no? Yes or no? Who's played any other athletes in this room? Okay. All right. So I see a lot of athletes. A lot of you played sports. Some of you didn't, and that's okay. But I'm gonna tell you, with sports, one thing that's true is that in most sports, you can't win championships if you've only got one style of play. In basketball, you can't win the NBA finals if all you know how to do is shoot from the left side of the court, from 10 feet away from the basket, right? You can't, or if all you know how to do is dunk, then you don't have any other ability to do other things like shoot 3-pointers or dribble with your left hand versus your right, then you're not going to be able to win, right? So ultimately, winning the wealth game is the same way. Winning the wealth game is the same way. And LeBron knows this because LeBron is a great basketball player and he's also a great investor. And what he's doing is he's diversifying his game. He's spreading his wealth game out. So LeBron's probably got about 40 different streams of income, as a result of what he's doing as a player, which is phenomenal because I've seen athletes that go out and make 20 million a year and end up with one damn stream of income. And I'm like, what the hell, man? Like that don't even make no damn sense. You got only one way to make money. So if that NBA owner stops sending you that paycheck, you're asked out for life. Are you kidding me right now? There's no excuse for any person of his stature to have one stream of income. And there's also no excuse for any person of our stature or regular folks' stature to maintain one stream of income forever. Even if it's a small stream of income, if you learn to think like a wealth builder, learn how to think like an investor, then you learn how to put your money in places where your money starts working for you. And that's the idea. That's the key idea. But it's an idea that you have to understand and internalize. And the reason we have to be passionate about that is because we live in a world that pushes us in the other direction. Do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button. Take 1 second right now on the count of 3. Everybody hit the thumbs up button. If you're on Instagram, you don't have a thumbs up button, but if you could share the conversation, I'd appreciate it. Or you can subscribe at blackenough.com. That's our social media platform for Black people that we created because we knew that Farrakhan and other people like that will be banned from Facebook eventually. So Black Enough isn't a replacement for Facebook. We're not telling you to leave Facebook. You can stay there if you want to. It's just a supplement. We will never ban you. We will never mistreat you. We will never tell you what you can and cannot talk about. So here's how you spell it. I put it on a shirt because it is a long word, but it's our word. We copyrighted this word, trademarked it, and all that stuff. So it belongs to us legally, and it's a spinoff of the term Black Enough. So it's like, are you Black enough? That's kind of what, that was my, my failed attempt at humor, but I still think it's funny. But then again, maybe I'm just a corny bastard. I don't know. But also I want to remind you guys, I'll be in Philadelphia doing a financial Juneteenth investment seminar on May 19th for the entire day. I'm going to teach investing, how to turn your child into a millionaire, how to build your own family bank, how to build a 100-year plan for your family, how to buy shares of stock. And I like the idea of doing a seminar because it's going to be hands-on. I'll be right there with you. There won't be many people in the room. We're going to create an investment club once we're done. And so if you're interested and you want to come out to the seminar, go to drboycephiladelphia.com. That's drboycephiladelphia.com. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to do a digital version of the same seminar over a 7-week period. So instead of 7 hours in one day, we'll do 1 hour a week for 7 weeks. And so if you'd like to do the digital version because maybe you don't live in Philly or you can't make it to Philly, because I'm only going to do it in Philly. I don't think I'm going to do it anywhere else. You can actually go to drboyceseminars.com with the S, drboyceseminars.com. So feel free to go to drboyceseminars.com. All right. So let's see. John Dean, is this another recording? I don't know. I just said, John Dean, is this another recording? I just answered your question. So I guess that means it's not a recording. But then again, though, I could just be able to predict the future like that. Let me see here. LeBron is a calculated investor in my estimation. He decides how much he can afford to lose and whether the investment has potential to be viable. Yeah, that's what a lot of these investors do, honestly. They take tiny stakes in a lot of ventures, and a small percentage of them, if a small percentage of those ventures work out, then it's all good, right? And so that's pretty much what LeBron did, and that's pretty much how that's pretty much how things work. One of the interesting things is that the same way LeBron, made this big deal and he made this big financial deal. There are lots of small deals that exist in the hood everywhere. The Black community is one of the greatest places in the world to invest because there's so many underfunded, high quality ideas that are out here. So that if you were a person that was in your community, you started a little committed, like put skin in the game. Like let's say every person said, okay, we'll put $200 a piece into a pot and just build up a pot of money that can be used to invest in little projects that come along. And we get a lawyer and an accountant to make sure that, that there's transparency, there's contracts, all that stuff, and literally form like a little bank. You can make a killing off of that. You can make a killing off of that because the Black community has an overabundance, an oversupply of extraordinary ideas that can't get funding because white people fund their own stuff. White people sit in Silicon Valley and they'll put $10, $20 million behind dumb ideas. Some white kid whose dad went to Stanford or whatever will get the money when really there are just a gang of extraordinary ideas right there in the hood that can make money tomorrow that don't have investing. That's why I say to NBA athletes or anybody who's watching who knows wealthy Black people, feel free, send me an email. My email is manager@boycewatkins.com, and I can show you how to get something like that started where literally it doesn't have to be charity. A lot of entertainers and athletes think, well, to help my community, I got to give to this and give to that. No, man, you ain't got to give to nothing. Don't give to the community. They don't even really, charity doesn't, there's theories that say charity does not even strengthen a community. Charity, go watch the documentary Poverty Inc. Poverty Inc. will show you how charity is not the solution for Black people. It's investment that makes the difference. Investment is the solution because investment is a way that the community can win and then you can win also. And the thing about investing is that investing is like dating. It's like a marriage. You can't just date somebody because you want to have sex with them because there's some people that will come in there and they'll just use you for sex. Or there are some people that will come in there and flat out rape you, but then there's people that will make sweet love to you and it'll be an amazing experience, right? So what's the difference? Well, when white folks come in and they invest in the Black community and y'all up here cheering and excited because white people, because you'll hear about an initiative, White People Incorporated has decided to start a $50 million fund to invest in Black women's businesses, blah, 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 blah. we get excited because we're used to nobody wanting us. We get excited because we're used to being thrown out and nobody wanting to have sex with us. Nobody wanting to make economic love with us, right? But we don't understand that some of these people that want to make economic love are rapists. Like they're like, ooh, we can make a killing off of black people. I saw a Dr. Boyce video, and he said that there's a lot of great investment opportunities in the black community. So we at blah 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 corporation would love to be a part of that, right? And it's not to say that these people are necessarily unethical. What it says is that in many cases their values don't align with yours. And so just like making love with somebody and choosing the right person to have a baby with, if your values don't align with that person, like if they believe in supporting white supremacy and you don't, well, that's going to cause a problem. That marriage ain't going to last for too long. Somebody's going to get hurt. So what I'm looking for is, I believe that there should be scenarios, and I'm gonna figure out ways to bring this together. I just have to be careful. I don't like managing a whole bunch of people's money like that. That's why I'm hesitant to like really, if I did it the way I wanted to do it, I'd start one big investment club and just tell all of you guys, hey, if you want to be a part of it, just put $100 a month in the pot and we'll manage it and we'll just invest it in different projects. But I don't want to do that, because when I'm out in this black space and I'm out here in front of 1 million people a week or whatever, you make one tiny mistake or have one misunderstanding. Next thing you know, all the Negro naysayers are calling you a fraud and a thief and you're stealing from black people. Like that's the thing that always concerns me, is like I don't really even want to have the money if it comes with that kind of nonsense and baggage, right? So I'd rather see other people do it. But really, truth be told, in your own community, you can do that sort of thing. You just gather, 10, 15 really committed people, make an agreement. Every month, we're gonna all drop $200 a month into this fund. And, so there's 15 of us, $200 a month is $3,000 a month. So, and then every month we're gonna meet and we're going to share investing knowledge and investing education. And we're going to talk about investment possibilities. And then we're going to have people come in and say, oh, there's an abandoned building that you can buy for $2,500. Who wants to buy the building? I do, right? And everybody votes, and then the majority wins. And then you take a piece of the fund and you invest in the building. And next thing you know, your group has assets, right? Next thing you know, you are an owner of something, right? You own a piece of something. And what that does, ownership is not just about the money, man. Stop thinking it's about the money. This ain't no paper chase. Ownership is about the pride. That's what black people need. We need to learn how to love ourselves. We need pride. You need pride because your self-esteem is in the damn toilet. Your self-esteem is so low that you are primed for the pimping. Pimps don't chase hoes that got high self-esteem and knowledge. They don't go after the girl who went to college and had a good daddy and loves herself. The pimps go after the little girl who ain't got nobody to depend on, can't pay the rent, and won't do anything to feed her child, and doesn't think she's pretty, and just needs a man to tell her that she's cute, and she'll do anything for that man because nobody ever told her she was pretty in her life, right? That's what. So black people, we are economically speaking, sometimes we behave like cheap hoes. That's what we are. And to some people, we are so desperate for somebody to love us that we will literally go to our oppressors, to the people who sent 1 million black men to prison, the people who have put Jim Crow in your community and drugs and all these other horrible things, who enslaved you, and beg them to like us and beg them to accept us and then brag about the fact that they've accepted us. So ultimately, we need self-esteem. So what ownership would do is ownership will elevate the mindset of everybody that's in that group. Man, forget the money. The money's coming. The money's coming. If you have dignity and you think highly of yourself, then you're going to behave differently. You're going to make different decisions. You're going to move forward with a different type of swag. You're going to have a different level of care, and in your next decision. You're going to be thinking about things more strategically, which will naturally result in more income coming to you. Because if you're careful and you're making smart choices, then you're going to eventually have wealth. That's the easy part. But what you'll find is just that you'll start to also spend a lot less time feeling sorry for yourself. You spend a lot less time worrying about what white people are doing. If you're a hater, like the best cure for haterology is to actually get some shit of your own. I tell you what, some of the haters I saw, I had a couple of haters that were on my back all the time, always complaining because it looked like we were winning, and they just thought that was a bad thing. And then they stopped hating on me. I said, well, why is she hating on me as much? I used to look forward to getting hated on every week because she just seemed to obsess herself with talking about me all the time. And then I found out the reason why was because she actually had something going on in her own life, and then she suddenly had something to be proud of. So her self-esteem went up. She started feeling better about life. And because miserable people, the most haters that you meet are just miserable people. That's all they are. And they're just upset because you're not miserable too, right? So ultimately, what I'm just trying to say is that every negative emotion you carry around, whether it's low self-esteem or haterology or feeling sorry for yourself or always complaining about white people, all that shit kind of cures itself up when you finally got some stuff going on in your own backyard. When you got something to protect, something to be proud of, something to lose, something to love, something that gives you hope, something that gives you promise for the future, then you really don't have a lot of energy to be mad about what somebody else got, because you're trying to figure out how to build your own. So that term build your own goes deeper than just let's all go out here and get rich. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how to become how to have a rich life, right? A fulfilling life. So anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that. And also, don't forget, subscribe at blagenough.com. Here's the URL. So it's right here. So you can spell it. So everybody type it in, write it down, and I can use your help. Could you please take this URL and tell everybody on your social media, everybody, just please give me a yes if you agree to do this. Please go and tell everybody on your social media, your Twitter, your Instagram, or your Facebook, or all three, whichever one you feel the heart to do, or your YouTube channel. Tell them that there is a social media platform for Black people who are sick of Facebook, and it's called blagenough.com. So I can use your help in sharing the message. We have, I think it was about 25,000 people that have joined so far. Once we get to 100,000, that will allow us to be able to go in and double down on our investment and build the custom apps and everything else. Because so far we lost a ton of money building this for Black people, because it's really hard to build a social media platform. I'm just gonna say it's very difficult, but we kind of stuck with it, and we finally got something that's functional and that works really well. But we want to make it better, so we can use your help if you will tell people about it. Also, if you'd like to support what we're doing, again, we don't want charity. We will, but we would love for you to make investments in us so we can invest in you. You can go to blackfinancialintelligence.com. That's blackfinancialintelligence.com. That's where you can get the financial flashcards for children. That's where you can get the financial workbooks for children. That's where you can buy books like Powernomics, Black Labor, White Wealth. You can buy my books, things like that. Or you can buy cool t-shirts like this if you want. We have shirts that say melanated on it and Black business owner and things like that. So it's just a lot of fun stuff that'll help you kind of rep what you want to do. Last but not least, if you want to learn how to start your own business, we specialize in the Black Business School. We have some experts that can get you started within a day. And so if you're interested, you can try out our entrepreneurship program for free for 30 days. Just go to blackmoney103.com. That's blackmoney103.com. The entrepreneurship class is the third class in our Black Money sequence. We have the same professors that you have at the expensive universities that charge you $50,000 a year. I have a PhD. We have other PhDs that come through. We have lawyers. We have entrepreneurs. We have financial experts. Everybody wants to be connected because what we do has become kind of an epicenter of Black economics. A lot of people kind of see me as a I don't know. They almost talk about me like I'm the godfather of Black economic empowerment. I'm not that person. That person would be a Claude Anderson. But I'm doing. I've done enough here to I think establish enough uniqueness that there are lots of experts that want to be a part of this because they're excited about what we're doing in the community, right? So if you want to go and learn how to make that entrepreneur money and understand how to think like an entrepreneur, what paperwork to fill out, what your next move can be, try out our program for 30 days for free. We have a 30-day 100% money back guarantee as well. And on top of that, the program don't cost you more than a Happy Meal. So if you want to invest in your future and you believe that that's worth it, or you want to try it out, join our university. Go to blackmoney103.com. That's blackmoney103.com. You can actually get a degree, a certificate once you're done, which I think has more value than a college degree, because our students learn more about business than business school students learn. Why do I know that? Well, because I taught in business schools for over 25 years. I know exactly what they teach you, and we designed our model specifically for our people, nobody else. So that's it, guys. I'm about to get out of here. Thank you very much for sharing the URL, Vicky. Please hit the thumbs up button before you go. And thank you guys for hanging out on Instagram, drboycetv.com. I appreciate all you guys. And Carrie Turner says, thank you for your platform. Well, thank you for joining and listening. Actually, I have a channel where I do only financial commentary, because what happened was I had a lot of people that some people didn't like it when I would talk about all issues Black. So on my personal channel, I talk about whatever the hell I want. I don't let anybody tell me what to talk about, but I do have the Black financial channel. And the rule I have for myself is that everything on that channel must be financial. So if you're interested in joining that YouTube channel, please feel free to go to theblackfinancialchannel.com, THE, that's theblackfinancialchannel.com. So, I just have a lot on my mind, and everything that happens in our community is very interesting to me, because I'm not just a financial expert. I'm also a Black man and a professor. So I'm a thinker. I'm always thinking, I'm always seeing things and seeing angles and etc. And I don't believe in talking about economics in a vacuum. You can't talk about Black economics without understanding the word Black comes first, right? So I can't talk about economics without being in tune with everything happening in my community. So that's why you see me talk about a range of different topics. So I'm about to go, guys. I got to go to bed because I got to get up early to go running. And hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you guys. Have a good night. And don't forget to join Black Enough before you go to bed, or maybe right now. All right, see you guys soon. Take care.